Hey guys, welcome back. So I have seen a lot of articles on this new UI trend, glassmorphism or the frosted glass. So I thought let's give a try, and in this video we are going to build a glassmorphism card animation using JavaScript library vanilla tilt. Let me show you the demo that we are going to build in this video. So we will create these cards and you will see that we have a frosted glass effect on the card, and it really looks nice when we have a abstract background and a blur effect on top of that. You will see that when I move the mouse over the card, we see a glare and a tilt effect. And these cards can be used for different purposes like testimonials, profile images, and product cards. So if this sounds interesting, then stick around, and also don't forget to subscribe the channel and press the bell icon so that you don't miss the videos like this one. So let's get started. Alright guys, so if you are a student or a working professional who is looking for a great career in software development, then you have to think about the aspects like what's trending in the industry or the kind of questions being asked in the interviews. What's the thought process behind the architecture of a great applications like Google, Amazon, Zomato, and Ola, or how to improve your CodeChef ranking. So Unacademy is providing a platform where you can have access to the weekly shows which you can watch live, and the host of these shows are working with some of the top companies like Google, Amazon, to name a few. They are 7-star coders on CodeChef and are industry experts with their years of experience. They will walk you through their own industry experience and interact with a lot of guests like HR and industry leaders of the top companies, where they will ask questions raised by you. In the live episodes, you get an opportunity to ask tech HRs about the top 20 interview questions and the industry leaders directly about their recruitment process in startups and MNCs. What's the eligibility and how to apply and how they build such great products. Not limited to this, you can even get your resume and your college or a personal projects improved by getting them reviewed by the experts software development engineers. Not only this, you can participate in the mock interviews and learn courses on programming languages, cloud computing, blockchain and crypto, tech aspects of digital marketing, data analytics. And if you have ever thought about how these frontline apps like Zomato, Paytm, GPay, Amazon, Flipkart, Practo were made in the first place, what was their thought process? So then there is a show to answer all your questions. And in that show, Anuj will discuss about the architecture breakdown of the popular apps. Learners will get to see how these apps are made and how these apps work. And you can get your daily dose of learning and many such shows at one price, rupees 999 per year. And if you use my code Dipesh01, then you will get a 10% discount and get the subscription at 899 per year only. You will find all the links related to the Unacademy platform in the description below, along with the discount code that you can use for subscription. Alright guys, so I already have some of the boilerplate code with me, and let me give you a quick walkthrough. So in the folder structure, I have an index.html file. I have an images folder which contains my images, and I have a CSS file which contains the style.css. For the index.html, I am using a Google font, so I have added the link of the Google font, and I have linked the style.css. In the style.css, I have the universal selector for removing the padding margin. So the first thing we are going to do is we are going to create the HTML markup. So let's create the HTML markup. So I need a div with a class of wrapper, and inside that I need a div with a class of card. Inside that I'm going to need a image tag, and adjacent to the image tag I'm going to have a card body. Inside the card body I need to have a div with a class of card title. Adjacent to that I will have a div with a class of card description, and adjacent to that I need to have a div of read more, and inside the read more I'm going to have the anchor tag. And now let's add the image here. So I have already image in my images folder, so I need an image of p1 jpg, which is my product image, and I'm going to give it here as product. For the title we are going to add as glass morphism. For description we are just going to add the lorem ipsum text, and for the read more. I'm going to add here read more, and I will add hash here. All right. And the next thing we are going to do is I have already opened this HTML page in the Go Live server. So let's go to that. And if I refresh it, then I see something with the class. So now let's work on the CSS part. So in the CSS, let me open the CSS file. All right. And in the CSS, the first thing we need to do is we need to set the background of our wrapper. So let's add the background to the wrapper. So I'm going to add a wrapper here, and I need a background. So I'm going to be using background URL, and let's use the image from the images folder and background. And I also need the background to be in the center, and it should be a cover. All right, next I need that the width should be 100%. Height should be 100 VH. Let's give the minimum height. So I'm going to make it as min height 100 VH, and I'm going to give a position of relative, and we want that it should be in the center. So I'm going to use display flex. So let's change this to display flex. Align item terms center, justify content center. All right, and let's save it. So now if I save it, then I see a background here. So before going to that background, let's change this to, let's for now comment this out the image so that we can see the background. All right, so now we can see the background. The next we will do is we are going to style our card. So let's style our card. So I'm going to give a card class here, and I will give a minimum height to the card as 500 pixel. Width should be 400 pixel. Margin should be 30 pixel. I need all my text should be in the center. So I'm going to use text align center, and I'm going to use a border radius to it. So let's give a border radius of 10 pixel. We are not able to see anything yet, so let's give the background now. So for the background, I'm going to use RGBA value, and in order to create the frosted glass, I will be giving a RGBA as 225, 225, 225, and 0.3. So that is going to give us a background. So now we will be able to see something, and we are going to give a new property which is called the backdrop filter, which actually helps us to give a blur effect. So I'm going to use the backdrop filter, and the backdrop filter should be blur, and let's give a blur of 4 pixel. All right, and I'm going to give a box shadow. So for the box shadow, I need a 20 pixel, 20 pixel, 50 pixel, and an RGBA value of 0, 0, 0, 0.5. All right, and let's give an overflow hidden, and let's save it. Now you can see that this is the glass morphism effect. So you just need to give the backdrop filter, and it's going to give you the glass morphism or frosted glass effect. So if you just wanted to know how to give the glass morphism effect, then this is it. You can use this and you can create the effect. But if you want to see the complete card, how to do the tilt and all those part, then please stick around. The next thing we are going to give is we are going to give a border top and a border left. So that will give us a more feel of like a glass. So I'm going to give a border top of 1 pixel solid, and it's going to have an RGBA value. So I'm going to use 225, 225, 225, 0.3, and I'm going to use the same for the right. Sorry, left. So let me give it to the left. So now we can see that we have a border here. All right, so the next thing we are going to style is the card image. So I will have a card image, and I'm going to give a width of 100% and a height of 200 pixel. Then I'm going to give a object fit as cover. All right, and we are not going to see the image, so let's comment this out, and this is going to give us the image. All right, so now we can see the image. So next we are going to style the card body where all our content will be. So I'm going to do a card hyphen body, and this will be having a display flex. All right, the justify content will be space around. Align self would be center. So let's add the center, and we want the flex direction to be column. So let's add the flex direction as column and give a padding of 0 pixel, 15 pixel. All right, and the next thing we are going to do is we are going to do the card title. So let's give a card title style. So I'm going to give a padding top of 20 pixel, font size of 2 rem, and we are going to give a font weight of 400. So let's change this to 400. Let's save it. All right, so now we have the glassmorphism title ready. And the next thing we need to do is we need to have the content, the description. So let's style the description and the read more. So I'm going to do the card hyphen description, and this will have the font size. So let's give a font size of 1.5 rem and a padding top of 20 pixels so that we can have some space. All right, and the last thing we need to do is we need to have the read more button. So let's give a read more button a padding top of 20 pixel, and then we are going to do the anchor tag. So read more anchor tag, and let's give an anchor tag of padding of 8 pixel, 20 pixel. Let's give a background to it. So I'm going to give a background of FFF, give a color of 000, border radius of 20 pixel. Let's give a text decoration. So we don't want the underline, so text decoration as none. And let's give a display inline block. All right, so now we have the proper, if we go here, then we actually have the same effect. So this is how we can actually create the glassmorphism card effect. But if we go here and we see that we have a little bit of transition, so let's add that transition. So to add the transition, we are going to use the CSS to add the rate keyframes. And I'm going to name the keyframe as card from to. All right, and then I'm going to add we are just going to do a transform translate. So we are going to translate the Y to 100%. All right, and at the time we need the opacity to be 0.1, and this should be changed to, this will become 0%, and this opacity will become 1%. All right, and now if I save it, I'm still not going to see the effect. So I need to add this card animation on my card. So let's go to the card and add the animation. So for that, I'm going to do an animation of 3 seconds, and I'm going to do the cubic bezier. So I'm going to add 0.6, 1, 0.3, and 1, and I'm going to do the card here. All right, and now if I save it, then you will see that we get this effect of animation. So now let's see how we can do the tilt effect. So in order to do the tilt effect, we are going to use a vanilla tilt. So if I click on the vanilla tilt, you're going to see the first link, and we can use the same. We can use the CDN link. So let me go here and copy the CDN link. So if I copy the CDN link, let me add it here. All right, so now I have the CDN link, and in order to use it, you can actually see how we can use it. So there is a way of using it. So we can copy this directly, and we can add it in our script tag here. All right, so I have added it, and we want it on which element we want it. We want this to be on the element of our card. So let's change this to card. All right, and we don't want this, so let me remove this. All right, and let's save it. So now if I save it, I should be able to see a tilt effect. And yes, we are able to see the tilt effect, and we can actually play around it. We can also add the glare effect. So in order to add the glare effect, we can use these properties. So you can see there is a glare which is false. So let me add the glare effect. So I'm going to use a glare as true. All right, and if I save it, then you will see that we have a glare effect here, and you can play around it with more values, and you can also create nice animations. So that's all I have. We can create this card in no time, and it's very quickly and easy. So I hope you liked the video. A thumbs up is appreciated. You can connect with me via Facebook or Instagram. I will add the links in the description below, and thank you. Thanks for watching.